But hopefully there will be some other opportunities, so keep your eyes open. Anybody have anything they would like to share? Like a project you're working on? Any announcements? I know Mark I want to hear more about the Corvolt. Would you like to let us know the latest?
Yes.
Thank you.
So Grace just asked me to talk just before the meeting, so I'm not really prepared. Let's see.
You can go on that side if you want.
Well, no, I want to be here with Charlie too. So Charlie, you can chime in at any time. Okay, so quick review. This has been a 12-year project, and I've had many starts and redos, but then for the last 2.5 years I've had Charlie's assistance, and so that's been a great help. So we started, or Charlie started documenting all the circuits with schematics and doing wires, and that started like 2.5 years ago. And so all these circuits were done over all this time, and now it's to the point where we're actually testing them out, that we're doing the low voltage 12-volt circuits. So we know now that the fan works with the thermostat. We actually figured out the temperature with the heat gun. So when the thermostat would come on, that works. The oil cooler for the transmission comes on at a certain temperature, the fan comes on. The EMT water pump, which is a special water pump that's, it's not like a normal car water pump, which is high volume, low pressure. This is high pressure, lower volume, because of all the restrictions in the cooling restrictions in the Cascadia Motion inverters. So that all works. We have a switch where it's below 5 psi. It switches off. It puts the inverters in an inactive mode, so we don't end up if the water pump doesn't work, it won't hurt the inverters. Let's see. Let's see what else we're at. Oh, so then the last little bit is programming the inverters. So so there's 2 phases to the inverters. Help me with this, Charlie. There's the general programming stage where you can you wire it one way and it can accept the all the new firmware, and then you unplug that, so then all those files can be executed, right?
Right.
And that what is that called?
Well, so there's firmware that's flashed into memory that requires a program enable, and then there's EEPROM settings that you can do with program disable, because you very rarely have to do the flash programming. So we buried these butt connectors in the harness so that you wouldn't accidentally end up enabling the program.
And this was done months ago.
Yeah, but when we put the harnesses back together, one of the inverters, I had the butt connectors disconnected like I was expecting to, but the other inverter, they happened to be connected. And so when we first powered up the inverters, I was going, wait, I can talk to one, but I can't talk to the other one. What's going on here? So we spent a couple hours doing continuity checks with the wiring, and then I thought, wait a minute, maybe it's those butt connectors.
Hold it there, hold it here.
Yeah.
We'll bug it out.
Had to unwrap the harness and pull a couple of pins apart, and everything worked fine.
Can I ask, are you using a controller off an existing EV, or did you like Arduino?
No, this is a Cascadia Motion.
Cascadia Motion PM250 DZ. It's
you can buy them off the shelf.
Yeah, buy them off the shelf. They're well, 250 stands for 250 kilowatts, but it actually puts out more. But it ranges from 300 volts to 800 volts, so it's a high voltage. It's the same one that they use with the the E-Copa Camaro and also too with the Cobra Jet. And then Steven's using it on his truck too. So anyway, it's it's quite, I mean, it's quite a piece of hardware. I mean, it was like, what was, the one thing I wasn't even aware of that computers could do, just having a laptop is they had, and I won't go into detail of this, but it was like, oh man, this is what, so you had to have all the files in, you had to have all the files in this one executable file, right? Remember that?
Which, oh, yeah, so there's some tables associated with the firmware that they have you set up a directory structure on your laptop where you have your executable GUI interface. And that GUI basically is expecting some of so the tables that you've loaded into your inverter, you have to have the same date code tables in that same folder where your GUI is executing.
Yeah.
And they update these tables periodically when, for instance, a new manufacturer comes up with a new motor and they characterize the motor and define a new table entry for the new motor type. Since he's got his existing motor and it's been around and defined for several years, I think you're running on a 2017 set of tables.
Right.
So yeah, you just need to make sure you have that old set of tables loaded up in the same folder as your GUI to have it work.
Anyway, my whole takeaway from this is I was just totally surprised. I mean, oh, do you mean a laptop can work like this? I've had a desktop for years and I didn't even know you could have executable files anyway, I'm just like, wow, I'm so overwhelmed and I'm really glad I have Charlie. But anyway, we got the other thing.
We're all glad we have Charlie.
Yeah, we're all glad. So, and then we got the accelerator pedal to work, and that was working on the laptop. We could see that, and and then getting down to the physical things, we got 3 battery packs in the back. I have six each 24S modules, and we loaded 3 of the modules in the back of the car and had them secured, and that was, they're each 92 pounds apiece. So fortunately Charlie's small enough and he was able to get up inside the car and do this, and I was like over the top, but we did it, so it's like all these things for years, oh yeah, it'll probably work. Oh yeah, it'll probably work. Yeah, sure, we don't have to take the glass top off. We don't have to do this. And then when it gets down to it, it actually works. So anyway, we're really close to putting the other 3 battery packs in the front and everything else is working. So we should be able to turn it over for the first time here in the next few weeks.
All right.
And it's just like, it'll be unbelievable.
Well, Mark, we're gonna wanna help you celebrate that, so.
That's right. Mark, what was the
Cross some
name
fingers
of the
for you.
project again?
What's that?
What is the name?
Corvolt.
It's a Corvette.
It's a
Corvette,
Corvette.
C6 Corvette. C6 Corvette.
Corvette, only with a volt at the end, yeah.
CORVOLT.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
So Mark's had a license plate with the letters, Corvolt for, I don't know, 10 years probably. He's had that plate mounted on his truck just to save the personalized plate, but
Right.
it'll be soon here where he can transfer the plate to his actual car.
Yeah, once I get my VIN number changed.
Hoping to see it at Greenwood.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be awesome. That's a deadline.
I'll go ahead and give an update on the other
Yeah.
project that I've been helping with. Stephen Johnson has been working for the past several years on a produce delivery truck for 21-acre farms. Yeah, and it's a very large truck. it was supposed to have a 19-foot, refrigerator box on the back. We do have the truck running now. We have some final things that need to be completed. It's using a single Tesla battery pack currently, but we don't have the charger directly wired to it yet, and there's what we call a Jack Rickard box. EVTV is a company that a person by the name of Jack Rickard ran, and they developed a box that would interface with the Tesla battery pack and actually use the onboard BMS in the Tesla pack and control the contactors and so forth. So we still have to install that in the truck, and then put all the final fenders and grills and things back on the truck to get it up and running. The recent development is that through discussions with 21 Acre Farms, their business model has changed a little bit, and they split the part of the company that does the actual produce delivery as a separate company. So the 21 Acre Farms folks don't actually do the actual produce delivery anymore. So what they've decided to do now is they're going to just use the truck as a flatbed truck. So they're investigating whether or not they're going to make it a hydraulic dumping truck where they use it as a farm truck, and they have blackberry bushes and stuff. They could just load the clippings in and dump them into a compost pile or something around the farm. But we're hoping to have that thing buttoned up and running also within the next couple of months.
And that project's been 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah, 6 or 7 years probably, yeah.
Wow. That will be exciting to
Yep.
see that done. Oh my gosh, cool. Anybody else have anything to share? Any announcements?
I have a
Chris?
question, actually.
Yeah.
So, I've been, talking to a bunch of different farmers markets, for a band. But, I noticed for most of them, the application process for like vendors that want to sell, whatever, they also often have an allocation for booths for nonprofits, which I wasn't aware of before. And I just wondered if that's anything that Steve has investigated about, maybe having a car there and having somebody sharing information, for visibility.
I would love to do that because I've certainly thought about farmers markets before, and I think that we've actually participated in one or two. But mostly they want money, and so we haven't
They
been
do.
willing
But
to
it's not been.
put out lots of
it's
money
cheaper
for
than a
that.
regular vendor, but
Mhm.
it just looks like it's, anyway, I just wondered.
Oh, I know,
It's like,
good
there's some
visibility,
big-
lots of
there's-
crowds,
There's
yeah.
some
Mhm.
bigger markets that would be worth it. Some like have all this like, so that's
Right.
probably not worth it, but, Bellevue.
No, the
Kirkland,
Fremont
that
market,
ones.
for instance, that might be worth doing something, absolutely, especially in the summer when you're gonna have the bigger crowds
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
yeah.
Anyway,
For
I just
sure.
wondered if-
Good, yeah. Anything that you have that you've found out from a specific market that they'd love to have us there? Most of them, though, limit their space to 10 by 10. And so you're gonna not even fit one car in there.
Right,
And
right.
so you'd have to get some kind of special allowance for them to bring in more than like one car, probably,
I'll
so.
be at some this year, so I'll
If-
investigate.
There's gonna be some market managers that'll be much more interested in having them than others, so if you come across those,
I will look.
please let us know. Yes. Cool, good idea. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Now that Charlie has his major award, I want to hear the acceptance speech.
He gave us a little speech last time, so thank you. Do you want to have anything to say,
No,
Charlie?
I'm
Okay,
fine.
thank you. We appreciate that, and so now you have to figure out who's gonna get it next year. So that's
Okay.
part, it comes with the trophy. All right.
I'd like to
Yes,
ask,
please.
I've just been reading, and it seemed like on YouTube, a new salt battery, is that a thing, or is that just hype, or?
I've certainly seen a little bit about it as well, but I don't know that there's anything actually coming of that. Anybody know anything more?
The vanadium flow batteries we're talking about?
I think
No.
it's sodium ions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sulfur
yeah,
batteries
sodium.
probably.
I think that there's still button-sized test phase
Oh, okay.
of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
sort of like solid state. I mean, until there are some demo cells or small products that we can purchase,
They don't
that someone
catch on
can get their hands on, right?
We don't know if it's gonna scale up. You know, it might be something that only exists in a small laboratory space.
Yeah,
We don't know.
until they get out of the lab and they put it in a product, even if it's, instead of a $10 cell phone battery backup bank, if it's a $500 solid state lithium battery bank, if I can buy one at any cost, right, then, it's.
If that happens, let's just say that will be a total revolution
Yeah, but-
in all electronics. Oh my gosh.
Until I
So-
get to that phase, right, I don't put a whole lot of.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But good, there's new developments all the time, so it's worth following. Yay. Okay, well, that sounds like, we have shared a lot of good information tonight. So let's just spend a few minutes mixing and sharing, and while we're putting away chairs, we're just gonna stack the padded chairs, I think over against this wall over here, yeah. That would be great, and please, take chocolate with you on your way out. Somebody you know will want it. I want to thank you all for being here on Valentine's Day. Thank you. All right.